Dr. Simeon Roger, and welcome back to our series of videos on how to build a strong foundation for your spiritual life. Today we're going to be asking ourselves a very, very important question, and that is, what is the secret sauce? What is the silver bullet of spiritual life? Why is it that authentic ancient traditions have been so effective, so incredibly effective at totally transforming human life down through the centuries, across cultures, millions of lives transformed, and it never stops? Whereas religion, on the other hand, religions have been so totally ineffective and have really nothing to show for themselves. Why is it that these two spiritual experiences are so completely different? Well, first of all, let me stop you right there. If you don't know the distinction that I'm making between authentic ancient traditions and religions, both of which are technical terms, you need to know exactly what we mean by this. So please go back to the first video in this series before you continue with this one. So again, what is the secret sauce? Why is it that authentic ancient traditions have been so effective? Well, years ago, when just before I started teaching comparative religion, theology, spirituality at university, I found myself halfway around the world in a very remote location, sitting down very early one morning, about 5 o'clock in the morning, still dark outside, and talking to a very experienced monk and asking him, because he himself had an academic background, asking him, okay, what advice can you give me about teaching this kind of thing at university? And he said, the work of the mind has to continue while you're teaching, just as it is continuing in each of us now. And what he was referring to was really hit me like a thunderbolt. It was the fact that we were both in this conversation with each other, yet each of us was in a meditative state internally. And this is exactly what he went on to say. You have to have part of your mind accomplishing the work inside yourself at the same time as you are teaching. Because if you can't do that, then you're only talking from yourself, from your own limited human knowledge, and you're not being a conduit of benefit to the people in front of you. And what he was really hinting at there is the essence of what I call the yoga paradigm. The secret sauce, in a sense, is the yoga paradigm. Now, when I say the yoga paradigm, I don't mean, everyone knows the term yoga, but people popularly, of course, associate it with those nice physical exercises, or sometimes difficult physical exercises, that you do at a yoga class, or you do it perhaps on your mat at home, whatever. But those physical exercises are merely preparatory, and they're merely preparatory as preparation for something that is a huge spiritual science. Now, of course, the public in the West is completely ignorant that spiritual science even exists. For the most part, they are, at least. And this, in spiritual science, is really what makes the yoga paradigm so powerful. Now, when I use the word yoga paradigm, I also want to make it clear I'm not limiting this to the traditions that would use the Sanskrit term yoga, because, of course, Hinduism or Tantric Buddhism would use the Hindu term, or Sanskrit term rather, yoga. But the yoga paradigm, the essence of it, is found all around the world. And what is it that makes the yoga paradigm so powerful? Really, when you get down to it, in essence, it comes down to one thing: continuity of mental attention. Continuity of mental attention. Where does your mental attention go? The traditions that we refer to as authentic ancient traditions are so incredibly effective because they teach you how to master your mental attention. They teach you exactly where to put it, how to use it, and how to restore your inner integrity as a human being so that your inner mental attention is not continually hijacked by energies that come at you from the outside, whether it's other people or events, whatever it is, or just the disruption of your own hormonal system, disruption of your nervous system, whatever it is. You regain integrity as a person. And that is the fundamental benefit of the entire yoga paradigm, and it all hinges on mental attention. So with further training in this, what happens is that your attention, you'll discover, is no longer hijacked by all of these energies coming at you. And you are at that point on the verge of becoming a true human being, where you are physically and mentally immune to disturbance. So these traditions begin by showing you how to set up a strong foundation, a strong physical foundation that can do the work required, and more importantly, perhaps, a strong mental emotional foundation where your emotional baggage gets cleaned out. And because of that, you are enabled to keep your mental attention where you want it to be for longer and longer periods of time. You learn, in other words, how to completely master your own mind. So whereas almost everybody around you has their mental attention continually hijacked and their life is really nothing but squirrel, squirrel. And that, of course, sucks up a huge amount of energy, and it's harmful, in fact, to the physical system. But most people are like that. They have no mastery of their mental attention. Their mental attention goes wherever the energies that impinge on them take it. Hijack this way, hijack that way. But the yoga paradigm puts you back in the driver's seat. That's what it does. And you progressively learn to maintain the state of focused inner attention, using your mental attention the way you want it, without disturbance. And you get better at it and better at it and better at it. And eventually the mind comes to a place where the mind begins to see itself. You begin to see your own mind. You begin to appreciate that you are, in fact, consciousness. And that consciousness is immortal and indestructible. And you learn this not abstractly, but you learn it in your own experience. And when you attain that level, of course, life is very, very different from anything you've known before. And this is the beauty of the yoga paradigm. And of course, there are techniques and systems of techniques or methods all around the world, which, and of course, embedded in authentic ancient traditions, which take you through this and teach you step by step how to go from the very beginning steps to the very end. Systems such as the Mahamudra systems of Tibetan Tantric Buddhism, or the Dragon Gate system in Taoism, or the circular prayer of the mind in the heart, as we find in the ancient mystical tradition of the Christian East. All of those are incredibly powerful traditions that are scientific, because you learn to experiment. You are the scientist, the experimenter, and your laboratory is this. And you learn how to make it all work. And that is the beauty of the yoga paradigm. Now, of course, what does this say if you happen to find yourself spending all of your time in some sort of spiritual tradition that doesn't teach you any of this, that doesn't teach you how to do this, how to deepen it, how to keep going, doesn't have perhaps even the first step, let alone the entire system? Well, that means you're wasting your precious time. That's a problem. So that's something you want to think about. So this is the importance of the yogic paradigm, that it puts you in the driver's seat. And only authentic ancient traditions have that whole system. There are, other places you can find bits and pieces of it. We'll talk about that in later videos. But nothing else except the yoga paradigm can cure the human condition. I'm Dr. Simeon Roger, and we'll see you again next time.